Good morning and welcome to this meeting of the Committee of the Whole. At this time, it has been determined that we do have a quorum, and so this meeting is now called to order. We have in attendance Ms. Hanson, Mr. Reeves, and Mr. Hall is on the phone. At this time, do we have anyone who would like to make a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda. Jennifer Hansen?
Tom Reeves, I second.
Very good. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And thank you, Mr. Hall, and the agenda has been adopted. At this time, we're going to go on to agenda item number 3, financial planning. Ms. Nowlin, attorney expenses.
Yes, good morning, you all. The attorney expenses are attached. Are there any questions? I do realize, I want to recognize that they are over last year, but I also want to remind you that that includes the $50,000 from Schwartz and Shaw for that investigation. So, any questions or concerns?
No.
Okay, very good. 3.2.
Okay, the next item is the fuel and electric. You will see some updated information, like the typical state expense on the fuel. You'll see that negative number at the end of the year because that's when we use the state money to the very end and then move it to local 056. So that is your overage in state 56. That got moved to local 56, which then in their calculations for the upcoming year, that will be included in what they budget us for. So when we spend money in local transportation 56 eligible expenses, then that is considered for our allotment for the upcoming year. Any questions about that? And then we have just some other, yeah, and you can see here where that 167 got shifted to the local 056 with fuel.
Which slide?
On the
11?
second, local yellow bus
Yeah.
fuel. So that's where those expenses shifted. Back to the electric. I think you can see it's kind of evening out in dollar figure with what we're spending in the electric. I just contacted Mr. Kaiser and he is still working with ECAT. Is ECAT? ECAP. Sorry, I probably put that thing in an email wrong. We're working on that to make sure that the database transfer, so we can give you that analysis. Hopefully by August or September, I can have some analysis over what we did last year with removing that contract that we were under, and what we spent from, with Synergistics, what we spent from year to year, and see if there were any actual savings from that.
Good, I've been anticipating that information for a
yes.
while, I think. all the
And we're
board
working
has.
towards transitioning them to have all of our online access. If you want to know what took so long, they were having to take physical bills and go back and do historical scanning so that they could enter that. And, you know, when you have scanned stuff and do physical data entry, things get missed. So they're having to go back. We don't just have one electric bill for every school. It's for like almost one bill for every, what's the? No, the meter. It has to. So we would have several schools with several bills. So that's what's been kind of challenging. But we're moving towards giving them online access so they can go. Because like Duke Energy and some of these other companies have their own like analytical data too that they can see. So we're working on transitioning that too. You'd be surprised, some of the smaller companies do not have online access, but we're working to do it with any that currently do. So hopefully August, September, we'll have some analysis for you.
Very good, thank you. Okay, board, do you have any questions?
No.
No, you want electric? Okay,
I have a comment.
yes.
I'll say it again, I don't think we say it enough. We are so lucky to have you taking care of all this stuff. You do such a great job. And
Well, thank you. I have a great team.
Agreed.
I have probably the best finance team in the state. I say that all the time. So we're surrounded by great people. But thank
that's
you
one
very
thing I
much.
just don't even worry about. I don't even think about it, so I know you got it.
No, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, number 4, policy strategic planning. 4.1, policy changes for parent organizations. Mr. Taylor.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Board Chair
Morning.
and board members. This is a second reading coming up in August from the June board meeting. We changed the 8620 back to the original September 15th date to allow
Thank you.
teams to get together and decide on their officers. 5010 is we changed that one to include the addition of an additional structure whereby organizations can solicit money and as givebacks. I could not think of the name for just a minute. I had to pull the policy up. And then the last part of that, 4.1D, is just the agreement for booster clubs to sign. And there's a couple of additions in there, including email addresses and nonprofit status and budgetary documents to be submitted to finance and approved by Dr. Breedlove. So we've been through this a couple of times. Our recommendation, since this is not an actionable meeting, is to move this to consent for August board meeting. That'd be my recommendation. If there's any questions, be happy to take them now.
Okay, and that was the only change was
Yeah.
we moved back.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. We went back and forth on the date and settled on September 15th as the most applicable time.
I believe the reason was because in early August, those booster clubs have not all had selections on who's on the club. And it allows the school to start in the booster clubs to get the parents to volunteer and jump in, and then we'll have a full list. We figured by September 15th, which is traditional, pretty much all booster clubs and organizations have their full list of parents that are on that we can turn over to the board.
There is a section in the supporting document that allows for organizations to turn their paperwork in early. If they have a fundraiser or something coming up, they can certainly turn it in before the 15th. But they can't take any action until that's submitted. So they can certainly turn it in earlier to be able to move forward earlier.
Okay. Well, board, do you have any questions or comments?
No, thank you though for moving that date.
Sure.
And I think consent agenda will be just fine for that. Okay, 4.2, second read for policy 5030.
Yes, ma'am. This is community use of facilities. Couple of additions that were added in here include proof of 501 nonprofit status and the approval of in-kind payments of fees may be allowed in terms of trading out an in-kind service such as refinishing a floor or painting walls or whatever for the organization that is doing that. Could also apply to reseeding fields, for example, for our organizations that rent our athletic facilities. If they wanted to reseed the field or provide some maintenance there that is compensatory with the amount of money they would have spent otherwise. So that'll be determined by, our office and with your input, of course,
Okay.
for any contract that comes across.
So I'm assuming whenever they give us an in-kind payment that we would be working with maintenance or whoever to collaborate with that, right?
Sure.
Make sure it's done
Who's,
to our specification.
Oversight on that,
Yes.
Yes.
who's going to approve that? The principal? as far as the in-kind.
No, I think that would be the chief operations officer would look at that, because it needs to go through him or her, right? But it's gonna
Correct.
be him, Dr. Grimm, but working with our maintenance teams, our facilities teams. I mean, if it's simple things like mulching, putting mulch around the school, something like that, you know, that's a little less detailed than if we're going to totally regrade a ball field or something like that. If that was the case, that would be a lot more intensive. And anything that they do build or anything like that always has to go through the Department of Public Instruction anyway to get
Right.
approval before we do something like that.
Okay. So I just had a quick question, Kevin, I mean, or somebody else can answer it. Back in the day, we had several churches that got together and would do community vacation Bible school, and we would host it. Back then it was at Bergall Elementary. And would be like a Monday through Sunday evening through Wednesday. We ended up not doing any more because it just got to be so expensive. What is our fee schedule like for renting our schools' facilities?
I would have to defer to other folks on that answer.
Just in case anybody else doesn't know, I mean, you know, what it does actually cost to use it.
We currently have the published fee schedule that was approved by the Board of Education several years ago. I would recommend that it's time to review that because it's been approved 5 to 7 years ago. So some of the expenses obviously have grown over time, including our custodial services fees, which Mr. Davis and I have been collaborating about that. There will be a proposed fee schedule coming on the agenda once the new COOs have an opportunity to work with Mr. Davis to verify that it's in accordance with cabinet and then, of course, the Board of Education.
So like right now, what is I'll just say for like a custodian to be at the school while somebody's using it, how much is that?
$25 an hour.
Okay. And to use it per classroom is,
It's per hour.
right, but to
And-
use a
and there's
classroom,
I'm sorry?
to use a classroom is how much?
Yes, I don't know that. The fee schedule deals with the facility in general, outdoor lighting, and things of that nature. But we can look it up and get it to you. But it's posted online, and it's
I can
part
find
of
it
the
online.
process when people request facility use.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Ms. Hanson, I can send you this link.
That'd be great, thank you. I didn't really even question it till just now, or I would've looked it up myself, I'm sorry.
Our recommendation would be to move this also to consent in August, as we've had essentially 2 reads now.
Okay. Right, board, any more comments or questions about this? Okay, 4.3, second read for policy 5021.
This is a clear bag policy for athletics and other events. It's a new policy. It brings us pretty much in line with other districts around us. Just adds to another layer of safety precautionary actions on our part to ensure that our events are safe. Again, we would recommend this to go to consent in the August board meeting.
Okay, any questions? Okay, yeah, I agree. Okay, 4.4, first read policy 4318.
Yes, ma'am. Members of the board, this is a revised policy based on House Bill 959, commonly called the cell phone bill. It's not just a cell phone bill. It has other things in it, as we discussed last time. This has been vetted through Mr. McPherson and his team. There's a lot of red changes on there. If you look at the first paragraph, for example, it talks about personal electronic devices. All those things were redacted out and then put into a definitions area. So it's not like they were eliminated, they were just reorganized. There weren't a whole lot of changes to this. The major changes that we added are on page 2 at the top. Some students may require the use of devices during the school day to check blood sugar levels, heart rate, things of that nature, which would be a part of a student's healthcare plan 504 IEP. And then there are certain instances when a teacher may allow the use of a cell phone in an emergency situation. The consequences will be put into the behavior matrix. They're already in there to be able to accommodate that. That behavior matrix is currently under review as well to ensure that, for example, we noticed, our principals noticed that plagiarism on a state exam was punishable severely. We differentiated between a teacher-made exam, and it wasn't the same consequence. So the recommendation would be to make the consequences match, whether it's a state exam or a teacher-made exam. So some things like that are going on behind the scenes, and we'll get that out as soon as we can for the general public. I know that Ms. Radabaugh and the principals have been working hard on that to get that done. So the only other changes here, it does talk about liability at the bottom. I would draw your attention to that. The school system is not responsible for the theft, loss, or damage of cell phones or other personal communication devices. That was something that was written into there originally, but it was changed minimally to fit the new House Bill or ratified House Bill 959. We would like to consider this first read and have a second read in August board meeting. The reason for that is we want to get this communicated out to parents so that parents understand what this policy says and the ramifications behind it. It's not something we normally do, but talking to Mr. McPherson, it is something that we can do. That way we're not changing direction midstream. This is not supposed to be by the general stat or by the law itself. We don't have to have this done until January of 2026. We felt it was important to get it done so that we didn't have to change gears in January of 2026.
And
So
just-
that's the
Sorry.
reason for the speeding of the process.
And just to be clear, it is every student. It doesn't, not just high school, middle school, it's every student,
Every
correct?
student.
I just want to
Yes,
make sure
ma'am.
everybody understands.
There was some debate over that still going on, but right now we're sticking with everybody, all schools, all grade spans.
Okay, I have one question. I'm going to go back to that behavior matrix. Sorry to put you on the spot, but
That's fine.
when do you think that we will see that for approval?
As soon as we have a chance to discuss it in cabinet.
Okay, all right.
That's
That's fair
really
enough.
we've hit on a couple of things already, but we need to really get to the personal, to our wireless communication devices and make sure that's where it needs to be before we submit it out. And I think Leanne's probably got that.
So we met with principals to kind of fine tune it, as far as, and so it can be ready for cabinet when y'all meet on Monday. If that's, something, it's like, if you've been a teacher, the first, you write your lesson plan and then you implement it during first period and discover during first period the things that you could have done better and you do them better in second period. So we implemented the continuum last year and through using it, found some things that could make it better. And so we've been meeting with the people who actually use it to make some tweaks to it. And again, look at the cell phone piece to make sure it's within current guidelines.
Well, I should have been a little bit more clear in what I was asking.
August
Basically,
for approval.
thank you.
Just
That's,
wanted another month.
When
well, I was hoping that we could get it approved before school begins.
Yes, ma'am.
So that way, everything would be, there would be no change between August and September. But it sounds like you guys are already on it, and I appreciate that, and thank you very much. Okay.
Like I said, this would be, a recommendation would be to move this to action for August, to make that a second read.
Yes.
So
with the consequences or the matrix?
We
in
can add
with
those
it?
consequences in at that time.
That's correct.
Okay, thank
The
you.
consequence continuum, yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I guess that concludes everything for you.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Number 5, Student Services, Pender County Schools Mental Health Plan. Mr. Michael Taylor.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the board.
Good morning.
In accordance with Session Law 2019-245, Session Law 2020-7, and the North Carolina State Board of Education, SHLT 003, annually we revisit our school mental health plan and provide updates. I will draw your attention, there are very few updates this year, but basically the years have to be changed from 23-24 to 24-25 and 25-26. And then on page 3, we have adapted our start with hello from the Sandy Hook Promise to incorporate grades K through 12, focusing on student resilience and anti-bullying. And again, some of the highlights you can see, significant reduction in student discipline referrals and things of that nature. And I think a lot of that has to do with our consequence continuum that we did implement last year. We had standard practices across all schools, which helped promote consistency with our discipline processes. And I think focusing significantly on our anti-bullying platform reduced a lot of those suspensions or those referrals, which could have led to suspensions. And then the other item, the survey the staff, community, and students at BOY and NOY end of year to determine perceptions of school well-being and safety. That comes directly from our new strategic plan. We have not previously had a survey to gather that input, so we will be working on that to distribute at the beginning of the school year after you had a chance to review and approve. But those are the only changes specifically, and we would recommend that we move this to the consent item at the August board meeting unless there are concerns that you find in your review.
Okay, well, it sounds like not very much has changed.
No, ma'am.
Since last
Not from
year.
last year. The only real thing we added, like I said, was the to more closely align this component with our strategic plan, which we recently approved.
Okay,
Any questions?
thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions,
No
board?
questions?
All right, thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, on to agenda item 6, instructional services. Dr. Sawyer, policy 3450, class ranking, first read.
Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
Class ranking, policy 3450 is up for first read, was revised to be in more alignment with the State Board of Education, and adding guidance for consistency on when the exact date is that a high school can pull class rank. And in the policy, it's calculated at the end of the last grading period on the last student day in order to make sure that all grades are in on time and included.
I appreciate that. As having had 2 high school students graduate in the last several years, there's always somebody that gets really upset in the last couple of days because they've been number 1 for the entire whatever, and then somebody else beats them out at the last minute.
Yep.
So I appreciate that. It's been, I don't know what the policy exactly was before, but,
There wasn't any guidance specific about the actual date.
oh,
Typically, they start doing it like at the end of the 3rd rating period, so they can get down to their like top 10, and then they, manage it from there. But we want to make sure that everything is included.
yes, ma'am. I can say, I think this is definitely needed, and I appreciate your work on that.
Indeed, so this does give staff a little bit more time before, between end of school and graduation, right?
Yes.
Just to ensure that everything
So
has been looked at or any questions answered.
grades for seniors will be due on the last student day. So things can be calculated if anything needs to be ordered, right? Valedictorian, salutatorian, all those.
Right.
So that will be due, but actual, student grades would be due after that during like the optional days.
Very good.
And
But
it
we
will be
want to make sure seniors are really the
calculated
priority.
first, yes.
Yes,
And it'll be consistent across every school.
yes, yes. And they got to print programs and, things like that for graduation. So it's about a week between the two.
Okay. Any questions, board?
No,
Comments?
thank you.
I have a few things I want to say, but I don't know if this is the time to do it or not, so, well, I guess this is the time.
Go ahead.
Don't say
Ms.
names.
Burns looking at me. This may be unrelated, but do we have in school, I went to a couple of these, I thought it was ridiculous. Do we have like, athletic signing days where they, like a ceremony where they say they got a scholarship to play baseball at whatever? Do we have that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, this is my point. Do we have one for children or students who get full ride scholarship for academics to like Duke University or NC State or things like that?
High five, Lisa. I don't know if that's actually,
Award ceremony.
yeah, they do the academic award ceremony at each school.
But do we have like a big signing thing where they, I,
Not like an athletic signing, no. They do it during their award ceremony at the end of the
because
year.
I went to a couple and this kid got a partial scholarship to, I think it was actually at a High Point University for something, track. And there was a kid sitting over there that I knew that had gotten a full ride scholarship to NC State. They didn't say one thing about him, but they had this big to-do about this kid get some athletic. We're making, what my point is, we're making too big of a deal out of these kids getting these athletic awards and not enough for these kids getting academic awards. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So I'd like to see maybe we can have signing days for students who
Different
get
colleges.
academic awards. We need to make more of a big deal out of that. Because you know what? I went to school with Michael Jordan. I used to hunt with Trot Nixon. There's never been another Trot Nixon or a Michael Jordan that I know of in 40 years. So I think we need to make a bigger deal out of these academics than athletics. And a lot of this that I heard over the 3-tier policy just had me all wound up. 3/4 of what we got was athletics. Wouldn't had anything to do with academics. I mean, is that right, Ms. Hanson?
Oh, for sure.
It was ridiculous. I'm sitting there thinking, you're making a big deal out of your kid playing baseball, and here we are,
Instructional time.
giving them more instructional time, and you don't even talk about that. So I
We
just,
can surely
I
plan
think it's a-
something with principals, because I think that'd be a great idea.
yeah, I think as a culture, we need to put, focus more on academics than we do on sports. I
And
guess
if-
that's my point.
I don't know about other schools, but I know Pender does a signing for those that are doing CTE. I don't know what they call it specifically.
The credentialing internships and stuff, yeah.
And they do a signing for them.
Yeah.
Let's, what my recommendation is we can gather our high school principals and we look at sort of something, maybe something a little bit different for this next year as just a recognition across the board of just a signing day in general of whatever that would be, whether it's academic scholarships, athletic scholarships, even recognizing students that have already lined up a job right after school. And I think that's the message, that there is a plan and we're recognizing. But I know some other systems do something like that as an official day across their system in the gym and just recognizing. So maybe that's something that Pender County can also look into.
Yeah, fantastic.
Kind of like the National
Spring.
Signing Day they have for sports,
Right, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
county signing day.
Well, I think that is a great idea, and please make sure when you get it together that the board gets an invitation to that, because we would
Yes,
love
ma'am.
to attend that. Okay,
Okay, so we're recommending that to move to second read at the regular board meeting for actual approval,
yes, ma'am.
so we can get it started before the school year. Next policy is 3440R, was revised also to be in more alignment with State Board of Education, with the consistency of pulling class rank, but also adding some guidance determining class rank for like valedictorian and salutatorian. If you'll notice in this policy, it outlines these specific requirements to qualify for valedictorian and salutatorian, being the highest cumulative weighted grade point average to 4 decimal places, The student with the second highest would be the salutatorian. Out-of-district transfer students, including homeschool settings, have to be continuously enrolled in Pender County schools for at least the year, the first day of the fall semester, in order for them to qualify. And early graduates obviously don't qualify for valedictorian and salutatorian honors. That was in there prior.
Only related to spring graduations, correct?
Only related to spring graduations, yes, ma'am. The only other thing in the policy that did change was an addition, was at the bottom of the policy. It talked about Cape Fear Community College awards for Pender Early College. They also do awards for CAP students, for the Career Accelerator students, so that was added. So we don't forget about those.
Very good. Any questions, comments? Okay, 6.3, policy 3415R, final examinations,
Okay.
first read.
This one's also recommended to move to second read for board approval. Policy 3415R was revised to add more specific guidance for final exams at the high school level. These are the teacher-created final exams, not the state-required final exams. We wanted to add some specific guidance after working with principals on exemption reasons and also attendance waivers. So this policy, you'll notice, outlines students have significant undue hardship with attendance due to medical concern. The principal may exempt the student from participating in those exams. There's an attendance waiver that they can fill out. Some other examples, other than a specific medical concern, would be death in the immediate family, college visits, and approved educational leave. They would still have to fill out the attendance waiver to make sure that that's included to follow that policy. However, we wanted to add some specific guidance, especially for college visits, because a lot of our kids go during their senior year for college visits.
How many of those are allowed a semester?
We didn't set it at a specific number. We're bouncing around 2 per semester. The issue with setting a specific number is you could go to a college states away and be gone for 4 days.
Right.
So we really wanted them to be able to fill out the waiver and let the principals take control of that.
And then they have to bring back, I know when we've gone to college visits, they bring back the letter that says they were having a college visit. And they have to turn that in. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Do we have any more questions or comments for this? Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Sawyer.
You're welcome. The last one I'm going to ask Mr. Taylor to help with.
Yes. 6.4, CTEC MOU.
Yes, I have it up here if you need it.
So you have in front of you, this has been a long-standing relationship with New Hanover County Schools, a MOU for CTEC. I'll kind of go through the brief history or the long history of it briefly. Essentially, it's a partnership between the 2 counties. The Southeast Area Technical High School is what the CTEC stands for. I may have mispronounced or misspoken about a couple of those words, but it's close to that. If you'll notice in the actual MOU, no more than 23 Pender County students, including returning students, would be allowed to attend CTEC from Pender County schools. There's an open enrollment policy or open enrollment process that allows them to do so. The other component of that is, when you look at fiscal impacts, it's none direct. There's no money changing hands, but it is a decrease in ADM by 23 students. So just want the board to be aware of that. The recommendation from staff would be to move this either to consent or action, and happy to discuss any of the intricacies of it.
23 is an interesting number. How did we come up with that?
In the original language, on the original MOU, back 2018, I believe, somewhere around there, it actually had language of it would be 18 plus 5. All right, and then I think that they did that because a senior group, each grade level probably had 5 or 6 or so students per grade level in, and then, so the outgoing group, it would allow for an incoming 5, so 18 plus an additional 5, which was 23, and so they took all that language out, just said, look, at any given time, 23 max at CTEC, just to clean the language up, because it was confusing.
Do we know how many students are actually at CTEC?
Yes, I can get that number for you.
Just curious.
I don't think it's quite 23. I think it's 21, but don't quote me on that. I need to go back and look at our transfer requests that are approved by the board and just see how many are actually there through the years. But I think it's 21, if I counted correctly a few nights ago. The reason this was started several years ago, it was started at the time as a collaborative venture between the two counties, and it was an innovative opportunity for students in both counties, and we didn't have some of the innovative processes and innovative programs that we have now. So, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there to you as well. But the partnership is, standing, and so we can put this on for consent or for action, whichever one you guys choose to do.
My suggestion would be action, to go ahead and just get a collective vote on it. But I do have to say, I think that we have got one of the highest rated CTE programs in all of North Carolina. I agree with having the collaboration with CTEC, but I think there's also a reason why we don't have all of the seats for Pender fully full at CTEC. So, sorry, just had to toot our own horn there, because we do have we've got a very robust CTE program here. But, no, just my suggestion, action agenda, board. Yeah.
Move to action.
Kevin, how long has this agreement been? I mean, how long have we been participating?
It was started when Terry Cobb was superintendent. So that was 2018, 17, something like that. Maybe
That
16.
was 16, because I came onto the board in 18, and actually, this was one of the first things that, this MOU was one of the first things that, one of the first agenda items that I can remember.
Yeah.
And we were tasked with coming up with, we did not have an MOU at that point, and we had to come up with an MOU rather quickly when we discovered, we don't have an official agreement with CTEC, and that hence this
And it's a
came to be.
phenomenal program. I visited it. I know Brandy has. It's a great program. Wonderful program, wonderful opportunity for students. I didn't want my presentation to come off any other way than that. If that makes any
It
sense.
didn't.
Yeah.
Not to my opinion.
Focus on the career paths of hospitality.
They've expanded that
Okay.
quite a bit over the years. They've recently, or not say recently, over the past couple of years, have moved into a new facility. So they're able to expand now more than they could before. They were housed in the upstairs part of one of the buildings on North Campus for a long time. And now they have their new facility. It's beautiful.
At what point does a student go to CTEC? Is it
Ninth grade.
ninth grade? They go the whole high school career there? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I don't think we have allowed a person, a student, 10th or 11th to move there. I think it starts in ninth grade, and after that, their decision is made. I'll have to go back and double check with that, but I'm pretty sure it's limited to ninth grade. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
any
you.
more Any more comments?
Move to action for August.
Yes, sir. Okay, number 7, operations. Do we have anything for operations?
Ma'am, there are no additional items at this time. Obviously, at the board meeting, though, we will have the updated payout, which I received yesterday, and the proposed change order law.
Okay.
And then we'll have 2 items for the off-site wastewater project, which Mr. McPherson recently reviewed and approved to be added to the agenda, but it will probably need to be on the action agenda.
Okay.
So the whole team will have an opportunity to review each of those items and ask questions. And Mr. Bordeaux will be here to answer those very technical questions that you might have.
Very good, because that was going to be my next question, is when were we to have a presentation for the K-8 from
Yes, ma'am.
either Mr. Bordeaux or Mr. Warren?
It'd be Mr. Warren, more than likely.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
All right?
very good.
But you asked for it every other month, and it was supposed to be in July, but because we didn't have a real July meeting, I've asked him to move it to August.
That is
So every
perfect.
other month, starting with August, you'll have that update until you are ready to have a monthly update. And of course, working with Mr. McPherson and the Project Management Services team, hopefully they'll be here monthly as well to provide updates for the Board of Education.
Very good. I know every time I go by the site, I'm craning my head around, trying to see just
Yes,
how
ma'am.
far they've progressed with some of the some of the block walls and everything, and it's getting there. It's actually becoming a building. It's
Well,
very
I'm certain
exciting.
that the team will make time for y'all anytime you want to stop and take a tour.
Nice.
They'll have, there's,
Okay, well, I
there
think
are
we're gonna
teams
have
there.
to,
I will make sure that they're aware that you could be stopping by at any time.
well, my suggestion, please, board, is let's give them a little heads up
Certainly.
before we show up.
Just let
But,
us know. We'll be glad to arrange it
We can go,
anytime.
we can call you and
Yes, ma'am.
make sure. Okay, I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, it appears that we are at the end of our agenda. Thank you, everyone, for coming out today, and this meeting is now adjourned.